Gut, wenn jetzt alles geht, dann können wir mal die Antworten anschauen. Okay, also Rizorus, sage ich mal nicht, wen er ausgewählt hat, weil wäre mehr oder weniger gespoilert. Aber seine Anmerkung ist einfach Pech. Okay, so. Der Broken Romanschreiber 7. Der hat Toko ausgewählt. Mit der Begründung. Okay, also Vorgeschichte. Toko Fukawas Vergangenheit ist geprägt von Hass, Tod und Krieg. Krieg gegen die Welt, aber auch Krieg gegen sich selbst. Alles begann im Jahr 1960. Der Vietnamkrieg ist im vollen Gange und die patriotische, 24-jährige Amerikanerin Catherine McBride, die fest dazu entschlossen war, für ihr Land und dessen Prinzipien zu kämpfen, wollte in diesem Konflikt Anteilnahme finden. Doch zuerst würde sie die Ausbildung als Navy SEAL absolvieren, was jedoch den Männern vorbehalten war. Und so nannte sich Catherine ab da an Jack Owens, der zum Navy SEAL Anwärter wurde. Nach ihrer Ausbildung wurde sie einer der Spezialeinheiten zugeteilt, die direkt hinter die feindliche Linie geschickt wurden. Jedoch geriet ihre Einheit in einen Hinterhalt des Vietcongs. Ihre Kameraden wurden zuerst verstümmelt und dann getötet. Sie selbst hatte das Glück, nur in Gefangenschaft zu geraten, welche fast 3 Jahre andauerte, bevor entdeckt wurde, dass unscheinbare Mann in Wirklichkeit eine Frau ist. Genug Anlass, um sie öffentlich zu exekutieren. Bevor es aber dazu kommen konnte, entkam Catherine und stellte in einem Stützpunkt des Vietcongs Kontakt zum Da Nang Flughafen auf. Sie musste sich den Weg durch einige feindliche Einheiten zum Treffpunkt des Rettungsteams erkämpfen, was sie völlig ausgezehrt schaffte. Nach Kriegsende wurde ihr trotz der Tatsache, dass sie eine Frau war, für ihren tapferen Einsatz und Verdienst die Navy Seals Ehrenmedaille verliehen. Der Krieg war vorbei, aber er hinterließ seine Spuren. Durch ihre Erfahrungen im Vietnam, durch das Töten, das Trophäensammeln ihrer Kameraden und ihre Gefangenschaft entwickelte sie heftige psychologische Schäden, welche sich durch ihr jahrelanges Schauspiel als Mann zusätzlich verschlimmerten und letztendlich in einer dissoziativen Identitätsstörung endeten. Noch dazu hatte es den Anschein, als ob sie die Neigung zur Unterwerfung gegenüber Männern entwickelte, welche bis ins Sexuelle grenzte. Durch ihre stetig schlimmer gewordene Psychose erkannte sie, dass sie ihr altes Leben nicht mehr normal weiterführen konnte. 5 Monate nach ihrer Rückkehr in ihre Heimatstadt geschahen in ihrer Umgebung vereinzelt Morde, die durch örtliche Untersuchungen miteinander in Zusammenhang gebracht wurden. Ihre Sorgen entbrannten, als sie einige Male in der Nähe von 9 Opfern zu Bewusstsein kam, ohne zu wissen, wie sie dort überhaupt hinkam. Catherine wusste, dass diese Morde ihretwegen geschahen. Es war pure Ironie, dass der Mörder später von den Medien Jack getauft wurde. Die Kenntnis über die Morde besiegelte den Entschluss, Freunde und Familie hinter sich zu lassen und ein neues Leben als neue Person zu beginnen. Catherine änderte mit Hilfe von ein paar Kontakten, die sie bei der Army gemacht hatte, ihre komplette Identität und zog nach Japan, wo sie versuchte, ein zurückgezogenes Leben als Schriftstellerin zu führen. Jedoch hatte sie offiziell die Identität einer 19-jährigen Schülerin angenommen, weshalb vorher eine Operation vorgenommen werden musste, die sie als ein schmächtiges, schüchternes Mädchen darstellen ließ. Catherine verfluchte den Arzt, der die Operation durchführte, da dieser es anscheinend für interessant hielt, in ihrem Mundbereich ein zusätzliches Experiment durchzuführen. Und so wurde aus der mittlerweile 74 Jahre alten Vietcong-Veteranin Catherine McBride die 19 Jahre junge Schülerin Toko Fukawa, welche Romantiknovellen schrieb. Trotz des Schülerstatus war der Besuch einer Schule nicht vonnöten. Im Schulsystem würde eine fehlende Schülerin nicht auffallen. Und doch wurde Toko eingeladen, eine der renommiertesten Akademien in Japan zu besuchen. Natürlich war sie neugierig. Der Mord. Toko wurde von einer maskierten Person mit einem Messer überrascht. Doch traten in diesem Moment ihre Reflexe ein und entwaffnete den Angreifer mit einem gekonnten Hieb gegen sein Handgelenk, das gerade dabei war, auf sie einzustechen. Toko entriss ihm die Klinge und schlug noch in derselben Bewegung mit dem Messer kräftig gegen seinen Kopf, was ihn die Orientierung verlieren und zurücktaumeln ließ. Gefangen im Moment machte Toko einen Schritt auf den maskierten Angreifer zu und stieß diesem das Messer augenblicklich in den Unterleib. Der Angreifer fiel letztendlich hinten über und verblutete. Einige Momente später erlebte Toko einen ihrer ungewollten Persönlichkeitswechsel und Jack bzw. Chill übernahm den Rest, welcher darin bestand, den anderen von der Leiche zu erzählen. Kurzversion: Dida, Toko. Wie kann ein Now alleine so viel pennen? Das ist eine gute Frage. Stimmt, warum ist Broken nicht da? Laut Zuschauerliste ist Broken da. Ah ja, vielleicht hat es irgendwie nebenbei offen oder so. Okay, dritte Antwort ist von Betsy. Er tippt auf die mysteriöse Mukuro Ikusawa und schreibt: Ich meine, wenn die unbekannt ist, die Person, und sie dann entlarvt werden kann, ist das irgendwie klischeehaft logisch und wäre auch spannend, wenn es die unbekannte Person wäre. Okay. So. Test tippt ebenfalls auf Mukuro Ikusawa und schreibt: Tja, ich habe eigentlich noch keinen Plan, wer der Täter ist, denn ehrlich gesagt denke ich nicht, dass es einen Mord gab. Laut Byakuya war Kyoko das Opfer und Mukuro die Täterin, aber da jetzt Kyoko wieder aufgetaucht ist, kommt Mukuro als Opfer in Frage. Jedoch war Mukuro eine Soldatin und was Soldaten nicht machen, ist ellenlange Fingernägel zu tragen. Die sind nur im Weg. Interessant. Ich erinnere mich jedoch an jemanden anderes, der solche Fingernägel hatte. Verdammt, wie hieß die nochmal? Jungo, die ultimative Fashionista. Das Tattoo von Fenrir auf ihrer Hand ist falsch. Es ist vom Löschwasser leicht abgewaschen worden. Interessant. Und das Blut vom fehlenden Huhn. Rip Clucky. Wie kam es zur Body Discovery? Als Choco starb, waren alle anderen im Raum, was Monokumas A Body Has Been Discovered nicht aktivierte. Oder so. Regeln twistet der doch sowieso, wie er möchte. Ernsthaft, wieso hatte Mukuro keinen Platz im Gerichtssaal, wenn doch alle dabei sein sollen? Naja. Zudem gleich ganz am Anfang im ersten Ding wurde ja gefragt, warum ist da noch ein leerer Platz? Und Monokuma hat gemeint, ach, nicht beachten. Wurde einfach so designt, dass insgesamt 16 Leute Platz hätten. Was heißt, Monokuma ist der Täter? Fragezeichen. Es sei denn, wir suchen eigentlich den Mörderer des Huhns. Okay. Kreuze dafür mal Mukuro an, da sie momentan die Hauptverdächtige ist, der Mastermind zu sein. Wenn es ebenfalls Kyoko sein könnte, aber bla bla bla. Und da ich schon wen angekreuzt habe, kann ich das nicht mehr wegnehmen. Kann man schon machen. Also, wenn du jemanden ausgewählt hast und die Antwort noch nicht abgeschickt hast, dann kannst du nachträglich jemand anderen auswählen. Dann ändert sich die Auswahl. Muss auch noch weg. Doggo will raus. Okay. Bis dann, now. War ein leerer Platz. Ganz am Anfang. Wurde es gesagt, dass da... Ach, Brocken ist da. Hi. Hast alles gehört, was du hören musstest. Wunderbar. Aber ja, ganz am Anfang wird gesagt, oder wird gefragt, warum ist denn da ein leerer Platz? Und ja, wie gesagt, Monokuma hat gesagt, ja, es könnten theoretisch 16 Leute hier rein. Aber das sollen sich nicht so viele Gedanken dazu machen. Jetzt eine zweite Antwort für die LOLs. Junko ist von den Toten wieder aufgestanden und hat erstmal Monokuma verdroschen, weil er sie zu Spießbrat gemacht hatte. Deswegen die kaputte Monokuma-Puppe im Gym. Danach hat sich Junko eine stylische Maske zugelegt, um ihr verzombifiertes Gesicht zu verstecken. Damit kann sie sich ja nicht blicken lassen. Stimmt, ich meine, als Ultimate Fashionista ist das sowas auch nicht so gut für den Titel. Dann ist sie in Makotos Zimmer geschlichen, um noch mehr stylische Sachen zu finden, wo sie das Messer entdeckte und erstmal Makoto einen Schreck einjagen wollte. Da kam Kyoko rein, um Senpai beim Schlafen zu beobachten, und sie musste abhauen. Irgendwann ist sie dann dem nächsten Monokuma begegnet, der sie heldenhaft niedergestreckt hat und sie in den Garten brachte, damit sie keinen der Verbleibenden weiter Angst machen kann. Damit sie nicht Stress macht, hat er dann noch die Bombe aus der kaputten Mono-Puppe an sie befestigt, denn, wie wir wissen, kann nur Feuer Zombies vernichten. Und das Hühnerblut musste darauf, um sie zu bannen und sie nicht einfach wieder herumwandert. Da. Das ist Basic Satanismus. Okay. Aber zu dem Zeug, zu der ersten Antwort. Monokuma verdreht nicht wirklich die Regeln. Er tut nur Regeln dazu, wenn es mal nötig ist. Und er hält sich auch an seine eigenen Regeln. Auch wenn es teilweise sehr grenzwertig ist. Aber er hält sich an die Regeln und ja, je nachdem, wie man die Regeln auslegt, beziehungsweise halt, ja, es wurde ja immer teilweise halt darauf hingewiesen, zum Beispiel in dem Fall mit Chihiro, dass das Borgen nicht erlaubt ist, aber das Klauen von diesen E-Handbooks ist zum Beispiel erlaubt. Weil die leihen ihre E-Books ja nicht. Und so weiter. Also er hält sich schon an seine Regeln. Warum hat Monokuma die anderen schon in den Keller gelassen, wenn noch alle da sein sollten? Ich sag's mal so, es waren alle da. Es haben alle, die an den Dingern teilnehmen sollten, in diesen Verhandlungen, waren anwesend. Um nicht zu viel zu verraten. Aber wie genau und so weiter, das findet man dann im nächsten Kapitel findet man das raus.
So if you can fit
Yeah.
okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No! That's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology!
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I
That's it.
just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
Herzlichen Glückwunsch, Level 31.
Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Müssen wir jetzt ernsthaft argumentieren, warum die tote Person nicht Kyoko ist.
Her traits?
Warum Kyoko, die hier ist, kein Geist ist. Ernsthaft? Gloves.
I got it!
Kyokos piercing glare.
I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Ernsthaft, Hiro. There's no way that corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. Nein, der Einzige, der dagegen argumentiert, ist Hiro. So I don't have any choice but to. Ah, okay. Two exploded body analyzes fake nails.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
9.
No, that's wrong. No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Okay. So then, sprinklers, exploded body, tattoo. Okay.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
A cruel and unusual death? This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Nicht ganz.
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
Hiro.
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Compare the tattoo to the other where the victim's identity should become clear. Mikuro Ikuzawa's profile. Ah. Tattoo. Yeah.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... Hangman's Gambit ernsthaft wegen dem Wort Wolf. Oh, ernsthaft. Fertig.
Now I understand.
Gut.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
Otherwise.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
Kyoko.
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Then who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be two suspects. Makoto and Kyoko.
You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Bot, L20. Glückwunsch, Bot.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? When she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered? 9.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. Okay then, it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Sprinklers, exploded body, fragments...
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have
Any objections, now would be the time.
Okay, Frage ist, grenzen wir es von vorne oder von hinten ein? Happens in the garden, same time every morning. Okay. Okay,
We've
sprinkler.
established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
Danny!
and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Dann Deudi. Ah, fuck! Okay, dann ist es 10.
Shoot!
We've established
A time frame for the murder.
It took
Place somewhere between
10 o'clock at night.
Komm.
No, that's wrong!
No, it's right!
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on! I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
You're wrong!
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
Huh? Mouth down south?
No,
Oh.
I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
What?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
They need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it. If we look at the body itself, that should make it clear. Bullet time battle. Yep. Okay.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! How can you say it wasn't the
This should prove it. Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry.
Ach stimmt, Toko war ja wegen der Explosion ausgenockt. Da hat die das gar nicht mitbekommen, dass wir die gelöscht haben.
If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac! I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Uh-oh. Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone, that's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
It's a trap.
Trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then... I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
A certain something at the scene was used to cover the body. Could it have been... Top.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick.
Makoto, warum hilfst du ihr?
You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that.
Ist rechtzeitig wieder da. I don't know.
Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. The top. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the top must have touched the body, right? Huh? Not the body.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
Ah, Level 36, Glückwunsch. Wird als Geist abgestempelt. Nee, das konnten wir zum Glück klären. I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Oh, before explosion, exploded body, fragments.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Fuck.
Shoot!
Shoot!
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side...
Doity. Ah! Fuck.
Shoot!
Shoot!
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it.
Explosion is burnt. The body before. Mask, white jacket covering the body, knife, bloodstains. Bloodstains, yeah.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Doity.
No, that's wrong. Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, What if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage.
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Got blood from right there in the garden, right? Which must mean chicken.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken? And then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange.
But one...
Maybe
Nice.
they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
What?
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet, because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Okay.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Super cereal.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
Uh-oh.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We cannot talk or keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what you might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Uh-oh.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Make your argument. Disguise the body, explode body, fragments. Okay.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once? That automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
Stabbed.
You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
We're getting stabbed. It was put on body after top. Okay.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
Guys.
It's the same one we gave to...
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatically...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. Monokuma file.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
But
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
only one explanation. Fragments.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Okay. Okay.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
Knife.
Then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Dead before the blast. Victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely blah blah blah. Also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. Body was discovered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay. Knife was a cover-up, and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh, which only leaves...
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well,
Yeah, she was...
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? Then there's only one.
oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed...
And more than that, the victim had suffered
Countless wounds across her entire body.
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
Correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? Then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit.
And more than that, the victim had suffered
Countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay, ich hab keine Ahnung.
Shoot!
Ich hab keine
Then
Ahnung,
shall we
was
continue the
die
debate?
wollen.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't because of the knife. Then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it.
There was... And more than that, the victim
Had suffered countless wounds
across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's
fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't then...
Oh, yeah.
That's gotta be it. There was evidence
That showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire...
Then shall we continue the victim's...
fatal injury
No, that's wrong. Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and spit on it.
I feel the same way! Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Huh? Real murder weapon. What? Titanium arrows?
I got it!
Oh, okay.
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her.
Ja, aber... Ein Pfeil?
And that something was... the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds... kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master! You have no right!
I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
Don't blame Hino for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Hm? Okay. Jetzt bin ich ein bisschen aus dem ganzen Zeug draußen, hä? Damn. Self-detaining arrows was found in the dojo locker. There appeared to be 10 in total. Okay. Duct tape. With the arrows, there was also wadded up ball of duct tape. Ah, okay. Titanium arrow.
It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, that's wrong! You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks.
Was war das für eine Stimme?
One stick is weak, but put them together and they become strong.
Besser.
It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. Must be current. Block key.
I got it!
I got it!
The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is... right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was... in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle.
Aber, wie kann es in der ihr Zimmer reinkommen, wenn die gar nicht ihren Schlüssel hatte für ihr Zimmer, sondern Byakuya hatte den Schlüssel für ihr Zimmer die ganze
Your
Zeit?
non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just... there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there?
Ich meine, klar, die hat anscheinend irgendwie eine Möglichkeit, in die ganzen Zimmer reinzukommen, aber das weiß Byakuya ja nicht.
That's what I need to know.
I was just... protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue? Could that be when... which would mean that Kyoko... she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know?
What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Ich sag's doch, die hat keinen Schlüssel für ihr Zimmer. Theoretisch.
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Kyoko gave her room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean...
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more.
Byakuya!
Master would never hide something.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Shoot!
Ja, das wird langsam
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly.
I'm not
The killer. You should understand. Master would never.
There's proof that you... Is that what you're...
You stated you said I hid and then
left the locker
Key in my own room, correct?
Shoot!
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than...
Byakuya!
Master would never hide something.
There's proof that you
Aren't the culprit.
Ah!
Shoot!
Fuck.
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly.
I'm not the killer.
Not the killer.
You should understand.
Byakuya!
Master would never.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Is that what you're...
You stated you said I hid the evidence of my and then
Left the locker key in
My own room, correct?
But could I really have done that?
Those words you just...
Exactly. I'm not the. You should understand.
Byakuya!
Master would never.
There's
Proof that you aren't the culprit.
Ah.
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Hab ich doch
Why
gesagt.
not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us. Mastermind's trap? The mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... Mastermind's trap. The victim was Mukuro, and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie? I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? Hühnchen als Mordwaffe ausgeschlossen. Aber war das Hühnchen nicht der Mörder? What do I do? I have to decide right here and right here now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. Run away. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here, something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room, that it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What?
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why... this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Trotzdem fast überall A. Außer im letzten Teil B. Obwohl ich so verkackt habe teilweise. Okay. Yeah.
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You've got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone.
Good job?
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right.
No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials. And I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills, kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment.
Wait, why do I? Kyoko!
I don't expect you to forgive me.
No.
I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Yeah, game over.
What?
Huh? Huh? What's this? What's going on?
Hey, what's that? Yeah, it had to be.
This is...
Alter ego.
Alter ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? Must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us.
Why are you talking like that? You've already won. Like you've already won. I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch. An itch. The stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again.
Yaha!
To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit. In a way, that's an even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world.
Is he gone? Hey Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time.
Huh?
In other words...
That's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. Massive high school towers over all other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every time. The cream of the crop. Falsch verurteilt wird, Rest der Klasse stirbt. War mal Kurt wirklich der Mörder? Ich nehme zurück, was ich vorhin gesagt habe. In dem Fall beachtet Monokuma nicht die Regeln. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend this school. One, you have to already be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. It's all just a dream. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to stunk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell! It was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me. And he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that my pursuit of survival began. First step was to start looking for a way out of there. Yeah. Rattle, rattle. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't gonna be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are an all-around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. What the? A strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? It's trash. The giant piece of trash just fall down here. I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash. Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was. Oh yeah!
Smells
Cup Noodle
awful.
Kyoko. Kyoko?
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you! I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Phew, that really hit the spot! Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Kyoko! But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So, you knew that I knew?
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive.
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So I have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible! Huh? Amnesia? Then, is it really true you lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember Makoto? You remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And could also mean somehow my memory is maybe connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us.
What? Correct.
Well, don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into a missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. My intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but... Why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. Ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he is my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad. Is Hope's Peak's Academy? Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. Find a way.
Huh?
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on?
My
memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear, so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, and The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy, found in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like, that part of the school I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is... The moment I saw it, I realized... Whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important. And really ominous.
However...
Of course... Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikuzawa, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikuzawa was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. I mean, because of the school regulations.
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. Ach, auf die Regel achtete, aber nicht auf die Regel, dass wenn Falscher ausgewählt wird, derjenige, der es getan wird, überlebt und alle anderen sterben. Okay. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? It makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikuzawa. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... during the night?
I
can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases, just like this.
Anyway...
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
It wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And the murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind, in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't it create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you, cause they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words...
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. We're talking about
That's right.
What happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy, whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair?
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Okay. Es ist zwar schon spät, aber ich zeig noch schnell was. Moment. Ich hab nur den. Okay. Aber ich zeig noch schnell was, wenn es schnell geht. Ist doch ein Class Trial. Okay. Machen wir das schnell.
I got it!
That Kyoko there is just a ghost!
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt
Burnt off in the
Then she was wearing...
Well, yeah!
She must have been wearing...
No, that's wrong.
If Kyoko really is...
Then who died?
There's gotta be... I don't think so. The face was... And there wasn't any Well, if we
Can't identify.
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body. What? I got it! The Fenrir...
Wolf.
Now I understand.
Now I understand.
The represent.
Es gibt ein Spezialbonusende,
I got it.
wenn wir die anderen darauf hinweisen, dass Kyoko lügt.
I got it.
Das würde ich ganz gerne zeigen, weil das recht interessant ist.
We've established a time frame for the murder.
It took place somewhere
between 10 o'clock and...
Und
No,
ich habe es
that's
gerade
wrong.
gesehen, zwischen China und Hiro ist ein Platz frei.
So if the body
Also ist sogar die ganze Zeit dargestellt, dass es einen 16. Platz auch gibt.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! That's enough! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! That's enough! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? How can you...
This should prove it.
By covering the body with the killer prevents...
So the reason the tarp was only dirty
on one side
is because the sprinkler got...
But the underside, it was totally...
It's because that side, since it was face... Of course...
it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong.
Wie schnell die Dinger durchgehen, wenn man einfach alles überspringt. Hühner.
The knife we found lodged in the... It's the same one we... It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that, that seals it. Just because I had that automatic, well, getting...
Stabbed is what killed...
No, that's wrong.
Kann man fast einen Speedrun draus machen. Das wäre auch interessant. Speedrun zu einer Visual Novel.
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal
Injury has yet to be determined.
correct?
The explosion didn't kill her.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't then.
Oh yeah. That's gotta
Be it. There was evidence.
that showed she was hit. And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire. Then shall we continue? The
Victim's fatal injury.
No, that's wrong.
Hört sich selbst an. Ja, okay, zu Danganronpa. Ist gar nicht mal so verkehrt, weil man muss ja noch. Es gibt ja noch mehr oder weniger Gameplay, aber zu nach einem Visual Novel drückst du auf Skip oder stellst vorher ein, Skip All Text, drückst auf Skip und lehnst dich zurück und wartest.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound.
Well, it said the weapon must. It seems like
An arrow would just be too...
No, that's wrong.
Dude, it's wrong! Woodblock. Und lock a key in my own room. There's proof. Okay.
Those words you just.
exactly. I'm not the killer. You should understand.
Byakuya.
Master would never.
There's proof that you. Is that what you're.
You stated you said I hid and then
Left the locker key in my own...
own room, but could I really have done that?
Those words you just.
Exactly. I'm not the. You should understand.
Byakuya.
Master would never.
There's proof.
Proof that you aren't the culprit.
Nein! Kann man das nicht Kann man das nicht unterbrechen? Okay.
Is that what you're.
You stated you said I hid and then
Left the locker key in my...
My own room.
but could I really have done that?
Those words you just.
Exactly. I'm not the. You should understand.
Byakuya.
Master would never.
There's proof.
Proof that you aren't the...
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. Okay, so. Und schon sind wir am Ende von dem Zeug. Pursue the life.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko's definitely lying, and it must be because there's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. Oh. Ist das auch noch da?
I didn't have the
Right.
key to my room. Because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I
Oops.
couldn't...
Kyoko's account was from... Secret Tour... Okay.
No, that's wrong. No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself. Didn't you, Kyoko?
Blah 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 blah.
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing.
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late. So then, it's... But I guess we...
Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Good job. Ich mach die Stimme jetzt nicht. Good job, you got it right. Brilliant, you're right. Got it right. Doesn't mean Kyoko really is the killer, but something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Yeah.
And that's how the class trial from Kuroi Kozawa came to an end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent or, regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial. And in the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Ja. Wunderschön. Byakuya lächelt. The fuck? Okay. Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope. Hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
I claim that's right, I have to. Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? Also, und ja, dann da ist dann hier. Let it go. Sicherheitshalber spiele ich nochmal schnell. Bis zu dem Punkt, wo wir waren. Weil Toko tot ist. Ich glaub's ja. Ey, noch mehr Münzen für mich. Wunderbar. Ich glaube, weil Toko tot ist, ist er endlich glücklich, Byakuya. Ich weiß halt nicht, ob das Kind von Byakuya mit Hina war oder mit Toko. War nur ein böser Traum. Leider ja. So, ja, das Zeug kennen wir ja schon. In dem Zeug wurde, im Bonusende wurde die Hina von der ultimativen Schwimmerin zur ultimativen Mama. Wunderschön, wunderschöne Geschichte. Okay, machen wir das schnell, weil ich nicht genau weiß. Theoretisch, wenn ich einfach beende, ohne zu speichern, müsste es eigentlich beim Ende von Kapitel 5 gespeichert haben, aber... Ne, machen wir das schnell. Nur um sicher zu gehen. Cup Nudel Kyoko, genau. Bam, bam. Bumm, bumm. Yeah. Wenn ich nicht speichere, sollte nichts passieren. Ja, ich weiß, aber ich weiß nicht, ich bin da in solchen Sachen extrem misstrauisch. Ja, okay, jetzt haben wir es eh. Okay. Also hier ein Pokémon mehrfach gespeichert. Nicht nur ein Pokémon. Allgemein oft. Das ist eigentlich sehr, sehr oft. Zum Beispiel wenn ich Skyrim zum Beispiel spiele, dann mache ich einmal einen Quick Save und einmal einen normalen Save. Nur um sicher zu gehen. Alternative Zukunft, keine Morde mehr. Toko durch Krankheit gestorben, oder? War irgendwie ein Tod. Entweder natürlicher Tod oder. Ja, okay, natürlicher Tod, dafür sahen die zu jung aus. Weiß nicht, vielleicht Unfall oder Krankheit.